You are listening to the Disney Dream Girls, an unofficial Disney theme parks podcast, and this is show number 239 for Sunday, the 9th of December, 2018.
Where dreams begin.
Hello and welcome to the Disney Dream Girls. I am Michelle Young, and together with my good friend Jane Phipps, we are your guides to the place where dreams begin. But I'm not going to start the show like that this week. I'm going to start it with a bit of a clue to who our guests are. G'day. Can you guess? Who've I got with me? Kat and Lewis!
G'day, Michelle. How's it going?
Oh, I feel so happy now I've heard your accent. I feel like you're here with me in the room.
No, just crack open some Lamington M&Ms, you'll be fine.
Oh my word, that is such a beautiful segue into what we'll be talking about on this show, because I actually took some M&M Lamington chocolates that you very kindly sent to me to see Wreck-It Ralph last weekend, and it was so delicious to have them to scoff my way through.
Nice.
They were so prized that I gave them out to me and Tom one at a time.
Did you choose the flavours that you'd palm off to Tom? Or
Well, I think the people sat next to me would have been really annoyed if I kept putting the torch on my phone to give him all the coconut ones so I could have all the raspberry jam ones, so I didn't do that.
you could have one of each, a brown one, a coconut one, and a raspberry one.
It's not Lamington and M&M if you don't have all of them at the same time.
I know, but they're not exactly glow in the dark. M&M's, you need to get onto that.
True.
And I was just happy to smuggle in extra food into the cinema because we all know how expensive it is to buy food there.
Yeah, so British cinema is really funny about that if people bring food in from the outside.
Yes.
Oh, what a shame.
Some Australian cinemas are as well. Like Dunks was saying, they're really strict bringing food to the cinema.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, things you know.
Yeah, you're not... They do hold the right to do a bag search.
No.
I know, and I just feel like, just for the hell of it, putting in some dirty knickers or something, just so that they have to go through them. Just because I find it a real invasion of my privacy. Because what's in my handbag is mine, and nobody is allowed in my handbag except me.
Exactly. If they'd thought that you had stolen something, that'd be completely different. Like if they had the firm belief that you'd stolen something, fine, do that. But just because you bring some candy into the movies, oh my goodness.
Well, they shouldn't get away with charging so high prices for their bags of sweets, which you can get for like a third of the price elsewhere.
Precisely. And you can't get Lamington M&M flavour in the cinemas.
And some cinemas have really crap candy as well. So, it's you've got to take the good stuff with you.
True. They do sell M&Ms, just not the good stuff. So we did bring you on the show to have a little old chatteroony about Wreck-It Ralph. But before we hit into the big main thing, how are you guys doing with your prep for your big Christmas trip?
It's just zooming up on us so quickly. So we've managed to get our visas sorted. So that's really important that we're actually going to be admitted into China. Mm-hmm. We've got our airline tickets. We've got our accommodation. Just need to sort out a couple of our little things that we're going to do outside of Disney. A couple of little tours and things that we might line up. But otherwise, I think we're looking pretty good.
Yeah, we've got to find out how to, a Great Wall of China tour so we can go and see a bit of the Great Wall while we're there.
Wow. Oh, I'd so love to do that because, getting the flight over soaring isn't the same.
No, I suspect it's probably not. I wonder if we'll have the same smell.
But I tell you what, it won't be, going there in real person. I bet it's tiring because it looks like it's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I get the idea that it's a bit of a drive out of town. So we'll have to report back once we've actually had the opportunity to do it. But yeah, so just got a couple of little things to sort of work out, but it's coming along quite nicely. I keep on looking up at the little music box that we've got from the Haunted Manor.
Mystic Manor.
Mystic Manor. Oh my goodness, Lewis is looking at me going, you know nothing, girl. And just can't wait to go back there and ride that again. I think that's, I'm just looking forward to going back to Hong Kong as much as I am on our little Shanghai adventure.
And you're going to both of those two parks?
That's correct, yeah.
We're staying when we're in Hong Kong, we're actually staying at the Explorers Lodge because the last two times we've been there, we stayed at the Disneyland Hotel and the Explorers Lodge was being built. And so we're really excited to go and actually stay there now that it's actually up and running.
So excited for you guys. And I'm eagerly anticipating pictures galore because it's just, You know, the fact that for the first time in many, many years I'm going to be at home in the UK, I'm just going to be sort of like living vicariously through you because I've no Disney this Christmas.
Oh, that's kind of sad. It's, yeah. I mean, it's when it's a tradition that you have as well, I bet it's going to be a little bit like, oh, maybe I should have booked something.
Well, do you know what? I've got this money in my bank account, which is supposed to be for my new kitchen, and it just keeps screaming at me, go on, go press book, go on. You don't need a new kitchen. Everything works. It doesn't matter if it's falling to bits. You need the Disney Christmas experience. And then the other day, there was the live screening from Disneyland of the candlelight processional, and I was like, oh God, I so want to be in Disneyland right now. I so want to be there, you know, getting to meet up with my friends, going to have food with them, and the seasonality of it, of being able to go in the morning. It's a cold, crisp morning, but by mid-afternoon it's warm and you're in your shorts and T-shirts, and your friends back home are in 57 layers of jumpers. And, oh, yeah.
Or you could always come to Shanghai and Hong Kong with us.
True, that is another option, but the thing that scares me is because I've never been. And also you guys are going quite late into January. Well, I'm back at work on the 3rd.
Right. We actually don't we leave on Boxing Day? No, Christmas night.
Christmas night, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then we're in Hong Kong like in the first week of the new year.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that does make it a bit later.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, lottery wins and stuff like that might organise to get you out there.
Absolutely. How many days have you got in Hong Kong in the actual theme park?
3, I believe.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Wow, that's quite a lot of time, because I know my friend Jodie went earlier in the year and she got to spend 1 day there. So to do 3 is quite a luxurious pace.
Yeah, it does mean that you can sort of potter around and, you know, and really enjoy the shows and the things that you have to wait a little bit for. But generally speaking, there's not too many queues and you can get through probably most of the park in a day if you need to.
And you just do it really relaxing, just sort of really, really relaxing pace, and, you know, take some time to spend at the hotel, like going in the pool and just chilling out. So I have found that Hong Kong Disneyland is certainly the most relaxing of the Disney resorts.
Oh no, bye-bye kitchen. Bye-bye kitchen. I'm going to Hong Kong. And then what about Shanghai? How long have you got over there?
I think it's 4 nights that we have in Shanghai Disneyland Hotel, isn't it?
It's either 3 or 4, yeah.
Aren't you nice and vague today? You did the booking. And so I think we'll get a minimum 4 days in there. So that'll be nice. It's probably more than enough, but we want to give it sufficient time now that they've got the new Toy Story Land area. We want to be able to ride Tron a few times and kind of do it at a bit of a relaxing pace.
Oh, sounds amazing.
The only downside is we tend to go at the end of the year because it's convenient. And Roaring Rapids, their water ride, it seems to always be closed for maintenance around this time of year. So we've yet to actually experience that ride. So I think that's just going to be one we have to watch on YouTube.
Oh. Well, tell you what, if you want me to simulate it, pop over to the UK. I'll get a rubber ring for you to sit out in the garden and I'll just keep throwing buckets of water on you.
Nice. Excellent. Who needs to go to Disneyland when we can just go over to the UK and just get the simulator experience?
Yeah, bear with me. You know, if you like going up sort of like Everest, you know, that nice big lift climb, so I could get that same rubber ring and pull you up the staircase, because I have 4 flights of stairs in my house, and that'll be just the same as the lift hill on Everest. So there's that one. And then soaring, I could put big screen Panda Vision on and we could soar all over the Magic Kingdom with our good friend John Sakari. So that's that taken care of. We can raid my kitchen and make a Mickey kitchen sink or a No Way Jose easy peasy lemon squeezy. So who needs to go there?
Yeah, it's true. Why are we spending all our money and giving it all to Disney when we can just rock up to Michelle's house?
Absolutely.
Brilliant.
And this is the enticer on top of the cake for Kat here. We can go to the distilleries in Scotland.
Whiskey Wonderland.
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
I thought that'd bring a smile to your face, but somewhere along the line, many years ago, I invited you on the podcast to talk Disney. And
we did.
I'm just going to, at the moment, I've got the Disneyland Paris 2018 calendar in front of me, and November was Olaf. This is how much time I've been spending at the recording station. I'm now going to turn over to December. Oh, it's so pretty. It's Disneyland Paris with a big tree and the little tin soldiers. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, thank you, AJ, for sending me that. But it just reminds me a whole year's gone by without going to Paris.
Oh, yeah. You didn't really have a great trip last time that you were there, did you?
Oh, gosh, I can't remember which trip it was, whether it was the one where it was supposed to be the Snow White brunch and it wasn't the Snow White brunch. Or was it the trip with Jane? And that was really good, though, because Jane and I got to go on our first girls' holiday.
That's pretty awesome.
So maybe I need to be talking to Jane and saying, come on, Jane, let's go to Disneyland in Anaheim for Christmas. You know, she doesn't need to be at home. It's only her son's birthday. It's only Christmas.
Oh, yeah, exactly. They're old enough to fend for themselves now, right?
Yeah, leave them a few mince pies out. They'll be fine. But mentioning Disneyland Paris, my good friend Liz Reed was there last weekend and they revealed a big advent calendar, and each day on the countdown through December they reveal a little window, and it's done with a little bit of pomp and circumstance as they do in Disneyland Paris. And I thought I'd ask you guys, are you aware of this advent calendar type thing being available in any other Disney resort at Christmas?
I've never heard of it. That sounds really intriguing. And what's in the windows? Is there like a little character each day, or?
It's a little sort of like castle. I'd probably put the castle at about 4 meters high, so it's not massively high. And then the first window that dropped down was, of course, it has to be Mickey Mouse.
Of course.
Of course. And I imagine it with different characters. And when you have an advent calendar, I don't know about you guys, but the first one has to be the one that gets you hooked on the other 25 days, with the big weenie, the big one, on the 25th, because that's got to be the best, because that's Christmas Day.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So as far as I'm aware, they don't do it in Disneyland in California. I've not been anywhere else at Christmas, but if anyone else has heard that, and if you guys haven't seen it, I'm just wondering if it's yet another unique reason to go to DLP at Christmas.
It could well be. And what a neat thing to actually take part in, to say that you're there for, say days 1, 2 and 3 of the calendar, or indeed at the tail end of it.
Is advent calendars a thing that actually happens in Australia? Because over here it's quite a big thing, and we have, most shops sell them for about £1, and each day you remove a window and there's like a little chocolate sweet inside.
Yeah, back in the day, advent calendars have changed quite a bit across the years. So my grandparents used to give me advent calendars, probably in hope of saving my soul or something. And it used to be no chocolates or anything like that. So the advent calendars were very, it was literally just a board, and you had a window for each day, and it would go through telling the story of the advent stuff. And so it was educational. And then as I got older, you'd end up with ones with like little chocolates and stuff like that. But yeah, in the shops over here now, like you can go to L'Occitane and they do one, and you get a beauty product every day, or there's some neat little stationery shops and you get like a different little thing each day in your calendar. It's absolutely crazy.
Go on, Kat, talk about the one you got last year.
Okay, so last year I spent a sweet fortune on it. It shouldn't have been as expensive as it was, but it was a whiskey advent calendar. So each day you got a wee dram of whiskey. It was a variety. So it was whiskey without the E and whiskey with an E. And so some of it was American, some of it wasn't. I think there was some from Scandinavia. I think it might have been Norwegian, if I'm not wrong. It was crazy. It was a bit of an adventure. I've still got the Jim Beam one because I refused to drink it. Still sat on the shelf.
Oh, maybe that could be your Christmas tipple on Christmas morning, as you and the old Lewis open up your presents all snug and warm in Australia before, going out and having a lovely Christmas lunch.
True. Or I could just leave it on the shelf. It's Jim Beam.
God, Christmas, the Christmas in Australia is so different to what the British and the Europeans experience at Christmas time, because in Europe and that, the temperature and a nice warm turkey with all the trimmings is fantastic, and here we try to do the same thing, but we've got like 30 to 40 degree temp. It's like we should just have cold prawns for Christmas. That's all we should eat. But we don't. We have turkey and ham and all that stuff. It's ridiculous.
Oh. Can I take you back to the advent calendar? Because
Yes.
there's been in the UK a bit of a to-do about advent calendars, and I know it's not Disney, but I thought I'd just shoehorn it in anyway. I don't know if you've heard of the chocolate brand called Celebrations, because they have little miniature versions of like Milky Way and Snickers and Mars Bar and Bounty in them.
Yeah, we get them over here.
Yeah. So in this particular advent calendar, last weekend was day one, and it was a Bounty, which is the coconutty chocolate, the coconut covered in a milky chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Twitter was full of it, with people saying, Christmas is now cancelled. What a way to start out Christmas, with a Bounty in the advent calendar. And literally somebody filmed themselves getting the Bounty bar and flushing it down the toilet because they said Christmas. How much? I can't even begin to sort of explode with how overprivileged some people are, having to flush a chocolate down because it wasn't their favourite.
That's terrible. That's just bad sportsmanship.
It's like, so what? You've got a chocolate. Some people somewhere won't have a chocolate. Get on with it.
Oh, it makes me laugh. It's like when you've got a box of any of those chocolates, there's always the Turkish Delights and the Cherry Ripes always seem to be left, of the Cadbury ones. And they're my favourites. So it's great.
So it's win-win for you with certain chocolates. Yeah. That's the good thing about a variety pack. There's always someone in the room who likes the ones no one else likes.
Yep.
So, yeah. So, many eons ago, we were going to talk about Wreck-It Ralph, and you guys got to see it a few days in advance of anyone else in Australia because of Lewis's film connections. Is that right?
Yeah. It's we fortunately our local Disney distributor Tash put on a family showcase for Wreck-It Ralph. Ralph Breaks the Internet, and we were lucky enough to attend that, and it was absolutely fantastic. We were so happy as well because we're going to be away at Boxing Day and New Year's Day, and so it was good to be able to check it out before it comes out.
And I suppose us for the UK were quite rare. Our release date was the 30th of November, so after hearing your show talking all about Ralph Breaks the Internet, I just had to book and see it. So we went to see, and I think it's the first film in about 3 years I've actually stayed awake through the entirety.
That's fantastic. We were hoping that you would, but I don't think that there's any way that you could fall asleep in that movie.
So before we go on, can we just say we're not going to reveal massive spoilers about it. We're just going to talk about it in general. So if you haven't seen it yet, don't worry, you don't have to turn it off. But guys, how many hearts do you give this film?
All of them. All of the hearts. I'd buy extra hearts just to give it more hearts. It was that good.
Did you know anything about the plot or the scenarios or anything before you went there, though?
No. Well, sort of. I mean, I'd seen the trailer for it, but that was about the extent.
So what about you, Lewis? Did you get to see any sneaky peeks or know anything about it?
Not really. I mean, I was keeping my ear close to the ground because I do listen to a lot of film podcasts and Disney podcasts, but not really. They did a really good job of showing the teasers and making them really interesting and making you want to go and see the film without actually giving away what the plot of the film is. And that's brilliant, preview or teaser making. That's what a teaser or a preview should be. And I do get frustrated by when they show a preview for a film or a teaser and it tells you everything that's going to happen in the film and you don't feel like you need to go and see it anymore. So I think that the promotion they did for Ralph Breaks the Internet was really spot on to make you go, I want to go and see this film, but you still go in pretty much not knowing what it's about, which I kind of love.
I think you hinted at that on your show number, was it 91, about the Dumbo movie? Because was it Kat who said that she feels like she's seen the entire film now?
Well, it's not that I've seen the entire movie. It's just that pivotal moment that they show. So showing Dumbo sneezing like that in the trailer, I think was showing too much, especially when it's another, 4 months before the movie's coming out. So I just think that they showed too much too soon. And maybe they could have released, like the final trailer could have had that in. But that's just a gripe that I've got because I think that movies that show you everything it kind of ruins the movie for you a little bit. It also raises your expectations as to what you're going to get. And Lewis is right. Ralph Breaks the Internet, the trailers for that were absolutely spot on because it gave you hints as to what was going to go on. But you could sort of think, oh, I wonder if they're going to do this. I wonder if they're going to do that. It was great.
No, it was really good, and the thing, just from a movie point of view, when they make trailers, the actual people who are making the films usually have nothing to do with the trailers. They give it to another company to make the trailer, and sometimes they put together something they think is going to promote the film, but it really should be the director and the people producing the film that puts that together, so they don't give away pivotal plot points. But yeah, again, Wreck-It Ralph's done it really well. Oh, sorry, Ralph Breaks the Internet's done it really well.
I must admit, I saw nothing at all. I hadn't watched the teaser, I hadn't watched the trailer, I hadn't listened to anybody talk about it, apart from on the way to the actual cinema, I listened to your show, and your show really didn't give a great deal away about it either. So when I was sat in the cinema, and I was actually texting Kat about it, about all the trailers that we got to see, and we saw the Mary Poppins one, we got to see the Bumblebee movie one, then there was a manga cartoon which was completely off the wall, but we didn't get to see Dumbo, which I was glad about. And I feel with the Mary Poppins one, as soon as Mary and Bert were on the screen, literally a shiver ran down my spine, and I then closed my eyes because I didn't want to spoil it. I hate knowing what's going to be coming in these movies. So I sort of engrossed myself with my phone and sort of didn't look. So I didn't know anything about it. And I like to do that because I feel like when I'm going in, I've got a fresh set of eyes and I don't have any expectations of it being good, of it being rubbish, of what to look for. Apart from the standard thing, I'm going to sit to the very end.
Yep, you have to do that. And this is a good one to get the word out that please stay until the very, very, very end of the credits.
I laughed my socks off at the end. I thought it was so funny. And I was reading somewhere earlier on that there are the two characters that they predominantly used for that little clip, they are actually bringing out plush toys of them.
No, that's awesome.
Is it Kitty and the rabbit? And
yeah, have they named them?
I don't think they did, but the kitty has Milkshake and the rabbit has a pile of pancakes. So which would you be? Would you be a kitty or would you be a rabbit?
I'd have to be a kitty. I'd probably go Milkshake over pancakes. Oh yeah, and then the whole name thing, huh?
And I'd have to go the pancakes. So yeah, it's. But did you stay right to the very end to the credits finish rolling?
Yes, I think.
Good.
Yes.
Because when we were in our screening, Tash said to stay to the end of the credits, and people stayed to the big credit scene, and then everyone left. I reckon there was probably about 10 people left in the cinema when the credits finally finished rolling, and like, you know, Kat and I were there, and we just loved the last little bit that happened in the film. It was well worth staying to the very, very end of the credits.
I wait till the man comes in with the garbage bag and starts picking the trash up off the floor. Then I know I can go.
It's always a good sign that it's time to go home when someone brings in the trash bag.
And I'm really sorry if I'm, dumbing down the whole film review process here for you, Lewis, but I have a really important question that I wrote down during the film, and it's just this simple question. Shin hair, yes or no?
Oh, that's and is it natural?
Yes. And do you dye it? Do you backcomb it? Do you tease it up? Do you add a bit of gel, bit of product?
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, there's some good banter between Ralph and Vanellope. I think it's people who have got good friends and do a lot of people watching can really appreciate their sense of humour, I think.
Absolutely. And I'm going to put my hand up now and I'm going to confess 2 tears released from the corner of my right eye and just flowed down my face at one particular moment. And that really surprised me because I wasn't expecting to go in and have that response to basically an animated movie. And it really just tugged on my heartstrings, did the main key message of the film, which predominantly was about friendship.
Yeah, I think that it was quite a nice take on that as well because you don't often get movies that are aimed at a young audience like that don't whack you over the head with the message. It was more of a sort of a subtle build towards what the message was.
Absolutely. And the parallels I found between that and Toy Story were remarkable.
Oh, yeah, I could see that.
You know, the big theme about Toy Story being friendship, about, you know, when you have friends, you know, doesn't matter about the distance, doesn't matter about the length of time in between the friendship. Your true friends are always there for you.
Yeah, and it's a good message to get out there. And I think the message about, you know, that you can actually maybe I shouldn't say that actually. No, shush, Catherine, because I think I don't want to spoil anything for everyone. Go see it.
Okay. Can we just sort of say there and now, if you want to avoid a little bit of spoilerage, you might want to cover your ears for a couple of minutes because I just have to get your take on this because it is just killing me.
Okay, go.
Everybody who's not wanting to spoil it, please don't listen for a couple of minutes. Oh my God, princesses.
I was waiting for it. I'm surprised I didn't get a text straight after you finished the movie saying,
well, you would have been asleep. It was like, oh my God,
true.
So funny. All you've got to do is find the water. All you've got to do is complain about, you know, the fact that you've not got parents and there's a man in your life who's doing you wrong. It was just so funny. And I thought that was great of Disney to have the sense of humour aimed at itself.
Yeah, and just taking nothing too seriously, including their merchandising.
Absolutely. I want one of those Snow White dolls.
Well, I think there's going to be a lot of new Disney princess merchandise out there, but could you just imagine though, just the idea of all the Disney princesses in the same room and all that kind of thing? I think it might change meet and greets, and you might see crossovers between the different princesses.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
so good. And whilst I didn't text you immediately I left the theatre, you'll never guess what I did do.
No, what's that?
I went to eBay to look for a brown pleated skirt to try and get a cosplay outfit for Vanellope.
Nice. Has to be done.
I just thought, do you know what? I can find a mint top for work and the brown pleated skirt and then no one will know what I'm doing, but I'll know.
Yep, and someone else will pick it up and they'll just go,
Okay, that's enough of spoilery. So let's go to the more highbrow side of the discussion because we've got our film maestro here, Lewis, and Kat and I have obviously talked about some of the sort of other elements that we found really enjoyable. As a filmaholic like yourself, what was your take on it?
I love this film, and I love the first Wreck-It Ralph. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was a huge nostalgia hit, and it really, you know, spoke to people who, you know, played video games and play video games, and you know, to see the different generations of video games coming together. And it was great to see, you know, games like Tapper and stuff like that, where, you know, you played them as a kid, and now it was a plot in a film. But I think Ralph Breaks the Internet is 100 times better. It's just like they've taken the original concept of Wreck-It Ralph and they've just made it so much wider, because when you do go into the internet, it just touches on everything that is a part of everyday life. I mean, you know, Google and eBay and, you know, Instagram and all those kind of things, YouTube, you know, every day we're using these products online, and it was, you know, it gave it a physicality of putting us into the internet. I love the way that, like, as soon as you pick up your iPad or log online and go into the internet, then, you know, there's different things like drawing your attention and taking you to different places. So it's a very, you know, everyone who watches this film can relate to it, and they did a brilliant job. They were, like, you know, self-effacing, and they took the Mickey out of all things Disney. There was references to everything like that Disney owns. Like, even though certain characters weren't in there, there was references to them. So it's a real, you know, spot the Easter eggs in this film. So I love it. I give it the highest score possible, and I encourage everyone to go out there and see this film and stay to the very, very end.
Absolutely. And as you mentioned, the Easter eggs, I spotted A113. Did everybody?
A113?
Yeah.
No, I missed that.
Big wall scene. It was painted on the wall, and that was one of the first ones I spotted of the Easter eggs. And then there was also the R2D2 tie.
Wait, A113. What's that a reference to?
Okay, that was the room number of the CalArts studio that the likes of John Lasseter, etc., studied at.
Ah,
and they
right.
sneak it into every single Pixar-based film. So
How do you not know that, Lewis? I didn't know it, but I'm not the movie buff.
Right, so now what you've got to do is you've got to re-watch every single film and see if you can spot it. It's sometimes it might be something as subtle as a registration plate or something, but A113, you'll kick yourself, seriously.
Yeah. Nice. Keep an eye out for those ones.
Did you see the Stanley little cameo?
Yeah, and we left it out of our things. We're like, is that a spoiler? And we debated about it beforehand.
That was the only thing I knew about because Tommy had told me he'd missed it.
Ah, no, really?
So I had my eyes open and made sure I would catch it.
Ah, we had 2 Stanley cameos in 2 days. Both of them were animated. It was lovely.
Yeah, it was very nice to catch up with Stan a couple of times on the weekend.
I gather he's filmed quite a stack for a fair number of movies that are coming out as well, so that'll be a nice little poignant moment for fans.
But I guarantee that even though he's no longer with us, that he will still be turning up in one way or another in all Marvel films from here till forever.
Absolutely. And can I just digress for one moment? Peter Parker. Oh my word.
Yeah. Isn't that a thing?
See, people find that weird, but I grew up reading Peter Parker comics.
Really?
Yeah. So
Spider-Ham, though. Really?
Yeah, Spider-Ham. Yeah.
It sounds like something that's gone wrong with your food.
No. Spider-Ham is just like Spider-Man from another dimension who just happens to be a pig.
So it's a real thing. I just thought it was a joke for the movie.
No. I've actually got in my collection. I'm pretty sure I can go and find some Peter Parker Spider-Ham comics.
Right, that is your challenge for the week. I want a picture of Peter Parker from your collection because I don't believe you. I think it's just been made up.
Looking at Lewis's face, I dare say it's probably the real thing.
You see, I didn't do cartoons and animations and comic books when I was younger because my parents brought me up in a very stereotypical way. You know, those were the boys, this is for girls. So,
lovely.
Yeah, I was able to cook and clean the house by the time I was 6. Maybe that's why I identify with Snow White so much because, I'm always busy looking after other people. The only problem I had living in Yorkshire is I didn't really have the woodland creatures come in and help me.
Yeah, that would have been convenient.
So you don't own any comics at all?
No.
That's so sad.
I did.
Oh, Lewis.
I had the sort of like the traditional girls' magazines that you could get where you sometimes got like a free bracelet. But I remember booking that at my newsagent and saying, I want this particular copy of this magazine because it's giving away a bracelet. I think it was a silver star bracelet and you had to buy it for so many weeks to get different star charms for the bracelet, and he ended up having a bill of like £19 to the newsagent because I forgot to pick the other ones up in the collection. And £19 when I was growing up was a lot of money. So
yes, yeah, no, that's understandable.
Anyway, let's get back to Wreck-It Ralph. I completely forgot. So the only thing that surprised me, maybe it's because the last few films I've been to see have been all like 2 hours plus long, is it felt like it was over too quick, but the story had been told in its entirety. It was about a 90-minute film.
Was it only 90 minutes?
I'm sure, yeah.
Oh, no, it was just shy of 2 hours, 1 hour 52.
Oh, it seemed less.
Yeah, it was really quick, but I think that's down to great pacing.
Yeah, no, if you tell a great story and you've got good pacing and you don't have any like lull points in the film, it can make a 2 hour film seem very, very quick. Yeah,
true. Anything else you would like to say about the film?
Probably the cast of voices that they used in the movie. I really enjoy these animated features because they always bring together such an amazing cast And then afterwards, you have the joy of watching the credits roll and going, oh, that was Alan Tudyk. And that was, I just think that's really cool. I think it was really, really cool that with the princesses, they brought back all the original voices that they could.
Yeah, the ones that were still alive. Yeah. But Alan Tudyk is an interesting one because he's pretty much in every Disney animated feature. They bring him back because he was in Frozen. He was the guy with the bald head and the flappy hair, and he was also in Zootopia as well. He was in Moana. I think he actually played Hey in Moana. He played the chicken, and then he was also in Wreck-It Ralph when he played the encyclopedia guy or the search engine guy. So it's amazing that they have him there, and he's their go-to guy for different voices.
Well, I would recommend people to go and see it, but there's going to be another big movie coming out over the next few weeks as well, and we're trying to coordinate our diaries to watch it and then review it as well.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Have you got your frock ready?
I'm going to... Shall we wear our Mary Poppins dresses to the Mary Poppins film?
I totally am, but it's also summer here, so I completely understand if it's a little bit cool for you to wear that particular dress.
Yeah, true. That's a thought I didn't think about when I mentioned that. Although I could get Tom to sort of do a drive-by drop-off at the top of the cinema, because where we go, it's like 27 steps to get up to the top bit from the car park. So he could sort of drop me off at the top and I could run in without having a coat. And inside the cinema, it's normally quite nice because it's one of those it has remote control, so you can have your lazy boy armchair relaxing you and reclining and put your feet up. So
nice. Doing it in style.
Absolutely. That's the 21st it comes out, if I believe.
Yeah, I believe it is the 21st for you guys. We're seeing it at a little a preview for Australian audiences. It's not officially coming out until the 1st of January.
Yeah, which is it makes it a bit longer. But fortunately, and again, Tash, our Disney rep, announced it at the screening of Ralph Breaks Internet that they were going to have like some special preview screens. I think there was like a Chicks at the Flick screening of Mary Poppins as well. And I was like, can I go to that? I'm not sure if I can go to that or not. But then there were other screens, other ones, so we went to our local nice one with the recliners and the food service and stuff, and so we're going to go do that, which will be absolutely awesome. Oh, but I forgot to mention with Ralph Breaks Internet, John C. Reilly and Sarah Silverman are just such a good team, like playing Wreck-It Ralph and Vanellope. They're just so good, so good.
So believable. So believable, absolutely, as best buddies. That's the first day of my Christmas holidays, the 21st of December, so I'm going to go through the day, and then the day after I'm going up to not somewhere up in northern England. Get this is so Christmassy. I'm going to a glass museum, and I'm going to be able to make my own glass hand-blown bauble.
That is amazing, really.
Yeah. I booked it weeks ago, so we're going to go and do that, and then we're going to go to this really posh hotel and have afternoon tea, and then we're going to stay over, and then the following day we're going to a Dickensian style, oldie worldy style Christmas event in a big oldie timey world museum in the northeast as well. So that's nice.
Does that mean that you get porridge and you have to say, please sir, can I have some more?
No, because that was in London and I'm going at the north. So hopefully the food will be plentiful and full of thick, big, rich stews and dumplings and jacket potatoes and all of those hearty things that you associate with the generous northeast people.
Excellent. That sounds really nice.
Even better than going to Disneyland, I keep trying to persuade myself.
Oh, it will be. It'll just be something a little bit different.
True. Anyway, that has been a fun 45-minute chat about Ralph and catching up with you guys. So we've mentioned in the show a few times about your shows. Why don't you give yourself a big old shout out on social media where people can find all these amazing shows that you're involved with?
Well, the best place to go to find all of our podcasts is the gentlemenofpopculture.com, the website, which is links to our Facebook is for Diz Down Under, which is our weekly Disney show that Kat and I do. Then there is Unscripted, the film show, which is myself and Rachel, Cecilia, and Ada, who review all the films that are coming out in Australia around that week. And then we've got Tangent City, which is a not 100% family friendly show, where it's more of a catch-all show where we can do spoiler episodes, and hopefully at some point we'll do some commentary, and we review streaming services and TV and pretty much everything that we feel like talking about. We can just do it there.
Yeah, it's a little bit random sometimes, but it's good fun.
Well, I think today's been very random as well, so random is good.
Indeed.
Well, as usual, you can find us anywhere and everywhere under Disney Dream Girls. Twitter and Instagram is @DisDreamGirls, and our email is info@DisneyDreamGirls.com. If you want to hear more from us, you can always support us financially over on Patreon. And finally, last but not least, we would love for Christmas an iTunes review. So if you'd like to do a show review for us, pop on over. It takes literally seconds and we would be very grateful. But until next time, it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from us.
Bye.